I'm going to show you how reaction videos are going to save the country on today's Unnamed Real Estate Podcast. Hi there, I'm Charles Ray Dawson, Associate Broker and Residential Sales Manager at ProStar Realty. This is the Unnamed Real Estate Podcast, episode 137. It is also September the 14th on a Thursday, and it's, 3:15. I've had a very busy day, so hopefully we can get all this stuff wrapped out. So, what to talk about? Housing, NAR and all their problems. First-time home buying. Let's talk about home buying. It is so bad out there if you're trying to be a first home buyer right now. With the interest rates as higher they are, you're not looking at the houses you wanted to see. You're in neighborhoods that maybe you didn't want to go into, and just coming up with a down payment. All right, let's talk about with an FHA loan. Just start with an FHA loan, and notice I'm just getting right into the middle of things here. With an FHA loan, you're looking about 3.5%, and then you got to come in on top of that, with your closing costs, this and that and the other thing. And $400,000 house, 3.5%. Okay, you're looking at about $14,000. Sound about right? 14 and change. That's before you get to your closing costs. And it's going to be worse if Department of Justice gets the way they want it to, and you, the first-time homebuyer, are still going to have to come up with enough money to buy a real estate agent to help you on your experience. So I've been telling my new trainees and everything, my new little realtorlings, to get out there and find themselves some first-time home buyer programs or down payment assistance programs. And I identified one. It's through a lender here in town. It is an FHA loan that requires you to basically, I don't want to say fog up a mirror, because you still have to qualify for an actual FHA loan. And you are going to be getting your down payment through seller contributions and from their own program and whatnot. So if you guys are a first-time home buyer out there interested in something like this, give me a call. All right. And I'll get you in contact with this lender. We'll find out if you qualify for the program. But that's what I would have said if I was a traditional real estate agent. All right. And with a traditional real estate YouTube channel. I also might be doing an Instagram song and dance or anything like that. And that, 137 episodes, you guys will probably think that I do not fit into your conventional molds, people. I am so outside of the box in my thinking, I'm not even in the same room the box is at. Right? But what I do is, I absorb a lot of information. And sometimes I share that information. And a couple years ago, 3 years ago, in fact, might have been 2 years ago, I shared a video on my Facebook page, my normal Ray's Facebook page, with pictures of my cats and food that I'm eating and all that other mundane Facebook stuff. But it popped up on my memories today, and it's a great video. It is still as true today as it was 2 years ago. So I'm going to show it to you, hopefully not get a copyright strike. All right. I already got one. All right. I don't know what happens when I get two, and I think when I get three, I'm no longer allowed to be on Facebook. All right, but I want you to check this episode out. Now, I'm sharing the audio. You will be seeing the video here. Hopefully the sounds and everything work out, and I won't know until after I go into production on this one. Check this one out.
The housing market's ridiculous at the moment, isn't it?
Incredible.
Yeah. At least there was a lottery for this queue. I've slept out for some developments and I still missed out.
Tell me about it.
I've even bid on houses I hadn't even seen.
It's a seller's market.
Yeah. Well, this is great though, isn't it? A brand new housing estate and that playground on the communal green.
Very attractive.
Yeah. Well, what is it? 125 houses available.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. And look at us here. Top of the queue. We'll have the pick of the bunch. Yeah. Do you know which one you're going for?
I like them all.
Yeah, well, of course, yeah, as long as you get a house, yeah. Something to call home, so the family can put down roots, yeah. Oh yeah, here he comes now, sorry. Yeah.
So, who's first? That's me.
Best luck, neighbour.
I'll take all 125 houses, please.
What?
Sure, no problem. What's the name?
Bastard's International Investment Group.
Well, Mr. Bastard, congratulations! Buying your first home can be an emotional experience. Let me get your keys for you right away.
Thank you.
On behalf of all of us here, we wish you many, many years of happy returns.
All of them.
Sorry folks, we are all sold out of homes, but don't worry if you missed out on a house. We are planning another development even further away from amenities in the next month, so hopefully we'll see you all there. Bye!
The Bastard Group is proud to present a beautiful portfolio of 125 modern homes available for rent. The queue starts here.
No thanks. We're looking to buy.
I'll take one. Sorry, I've been living with the mother for 45 years. I have to get out. Doomed up.
Hey, we're Full Arms Nog. Thanks for watching the video. Join us on Patreon.
Doomed up.
Man, I wish I could find somebody to do videos with that could harmonize like that. So, anyway, so that popped up on my view. And I'm like, damn, that's still going on. All right, it's still going on. News hit last week and stuff. I might have mentioned it last week, but I'll follow it up again. We had a little hiccup in the price per square feet. All right. Why did everything go down? We were going up. Oh my God, shock, horror. It's the end of the world, this and that and the other thing. And it turned out that no, one of these guys companies who owns a subdivision decided to sell it to another entity so they could have a subdivision to rent out. And they sold it for less than full market value because you're buying in bulk. All right. And it was so many houses and such a change, it actually dropped our average sales price for that week. That huge tranche of houses going from point A to point B. All right. So, and this morning when I saw that video, I'm like, all right, yeah, the more things change, the more they stay the same. But so with that being said, there's another development just announced. I was reading in the Phoenix Business Journal, another huge development coming in of build to rent homes. All right, limited water, limited resources, limited land. Okay, and they're literally going in there and just buying the land strictly to turn into rentals. This is, of course, means that we do not have houses coming onto the market or homes coming on the market. We do have houses. That is going to help us with our housing issue, but it's not going to help us with our home issue. I don't have a solution. As long as zoning is coming in and allowing these projects to get completed as build to rent housing, we're still going to have that problem with first-time home buying in general. It's still going to kick everything up. It does reduce a certain amount of the demand side because as more rental properties means that the more people are going to be more comfortable renting because the rents are going to be lower. The rents will not be too damn high, which means less people are going to need to buy a house. Because remember, a couple of years ago, we're literally saying, I was showing you the numbers, it is cheaper to own a house than to rent. Well, by bringing in this inventory into the rental side, we can no longer say that. Right now we start talking about tax deductions and this and that and the other thing, which I always hate. But, at least once or twice a week, I receive how to give a tax deduction class. Asterisk, Ray is not a tax attorney, was not a tax preparer, and you should never get your tax advice from a real estate agent. Yet still, here are these classes sitting there teaching real estate agents how to talk about taxes. And NAR wonders why they're in trouble. So, editorial aside, reaction videos are my guilty pleasure. All right, I watch reaction videos at night. When you guys are off watching TikToks and stuff like that, I'm watching reaction videos. My favorite reaction video is X hears Y for the first time. And usually what they're doing is, old guy listen to rap for the first time. Had Eminem, he's pretty good. I'm jiggy with it. That kind of stuff, right? You also have the African-American urban people listening to classic rock, right? Like, oh my God, you're 28 years old and you've never heard Bohemian Rhapsody before. All right, and somebody's going to listen to that for the first time, and they're always, wow, man, that's shocking. You know, vice versa. But as I watch these things, this is just Ray's rambling at this point. You can turn the sound down if you want. I'll tell you exactly the moment it hit me on this thing. I am watching a reaction video of two African-American ladies, young girls, probably about their 20s or 30s or so, and they're watching a Sugarland video. All right. The name of the song is Why Don't You Stay. It is one of the greatest videos of all time. Absolutely incredible. All right. And it's basically about a, woman singing about a guy. All right? As I'm sitting here watching this thing, those two ladies sat there and you could feel the sisterhood coming off of them. Right? Because here's basically white trailer girl as she's being portrayed in this, the singer who's probably a billionaire by now, singing about her heartache and how a man done it wrong. And these two ladies are getting it at like a serious spiritual estrogen level. All right. I was like, wow, that's pretty good. That's pretty impressive. Some emotions are really universal. I don't care, race, color, creed, religion, anything like that. There's another one out there where it's like tribal people listen to this. All right. And they're literally going out into the hinterlands of Afghanistan with a Kindle, and they're playing music for somebody who's living in a mud hut in Kafji or something like that, and getting their reactions of it. Like this is great, right? We're trading music back and forth, all right? So I was like, Sugarland. Oh wait, I know that video. Love this. All right, the ladies got out of that, obviously deeper level than I did. White chromosome over here. So I saw another one where it's African American father, African American son. And they're playing a country song, and I can't remember what the name of the song is. It might have been Whiskey Lullaby. All right. And that is a woman did a good man wrong. And both of the guys are just watching. And that son, he looks at me, it's like, Daddy, do women really do that to men? And he's like, yes, son. So I'm going to freaking edit that bit out. Hold on. Let me 12-minute mark. We're going to have to cut out 5 seconds on that. Okay. So now that's edited out, and same thing. It's that universal, humanity of people, and especially the way music does that. I mean, is from a deep spiritual level, music hits notes and chords and resonates in your brain that you have no idea until you hear that song and you hear that note drop, and it's like, boom, you're suddenly there, and we all got it. I do not know why this just turned into Ray talks about music, except the harmonies for those guys in that video. And I've been paying way too much attention to Professor Rock last night. But hey, you know what? Let's get to the part of the show where I notice everybody quits watching my videos and talks about it. You know what's coming, boys and girls. Here we are with the numbers. October 13th, 2023. Actives this week are 12,189, up 301. Of those, 1,842 are brand new listings, which is down 20 from the previous week. Contracts this week are 1,912, up 105. And closings were at 1,225. Now, you listen very closely, you can hear escrow officers cry themselves to sleep over that one. Coming soon to an MLS near you is 581 new listings. Our Cromford numbers, supply is at 50. That has actually come up, so we have one house where we should have two. Demand has also dropped a bit down to 76.1. People are getting fed up with these interest rates and no longer looking at houses. But that still gives us 152.1, so we're still definitely in seller's territory. And breaking it down in individual areas and stuff like that, Chandler is still doing its fall, but still leading the pack at 265. Right. Queen Creek is now broke under 100. Okay. After dropping 7% month over month, they're at 99.7. Maricopa is also still sitting there in balanced territory at 109.2. If it's worth the drive, it might be worth the house. Right. And then Goodyear, our gainers, Buckeye, Tempe, Cave Creek, Paradise Valley, they're still moving up the charts right there. But we are still in that particular market we were in last week. So how are we going to look from there? It's the interest rates. All right. And Monday, when I'm sitting there in that class and we're discussing this first-time homebuyer program, and this, part of that program does have baked into the cake a 2-1 interest rate buy down. All right. And, if you guys remember this, a 2-1 or even a 3-2, all right, is you're going to cough up a bit of money. And that lender specifically said that money for that has to come from the seller as part of a seller's contribution to buyer's closing costs. I had not heard that before. None of my lenders had ever told me that kind of stuff, but that's really interesting. All right. So you go to the seller, you want seller's concessions, all right, and you're going to pay money. The seller is going to put money in escrow, which is going to get paid to the lender, all right, to give you that loan for 1 year at a reduced rate. All right, and then the second year it's going to go up a little bit, and then the third year it's going to go up to what the actual loan rate is going to be. So if your loan rate is 7.5, okay, your first year is going to be 5.5, your second year is going to be 6.5, and then your third year is going to be 7.5. And the idea is that once these interest rates get taken care of and they go back to normal, right, you'll be able to refinance the house. Somewhere out there, somebody watching the show who was in real estate in the mid-aughts just choked on their Coca-Cola. All right, somebody just did a spit check. All right, because this is suspicious, and this occurred to me in the middle of that class. This sounds like the same words strung together in the same ways I remember people talking about adjustable rate mortgages. If you remember what that was, is, 5-year ARM, 7-year ARM, we're going to give you a lower rate for 5 years or 7 years, and then at the end of that time period, the rate is going to go up to this new amount. But don't worry, in 5 or 7 years, you can refinance out. Remember, 5 years, you should have enough equity built up in that house to refinance out, all right, and get a better rate because you're going to have more equity into the house, all right. When those bills came due, when those ARMs came due, people couldn't refinance. Lenders had tightened up. There was no appreciation in their house that they expected to have, all right, because remember going back and I've shown you the charts, 06 and 07 wasn't a run-up. We had plateaued right there. So if you refinanced at the beginning of 06, all right, maybe did a cash-out refi, bought yourself a new RV, maybe a couple quads, big screen TV, when it was time, when that bill came due, and don't worry, I'll just do this. Well, guess what? Now you're in trouble. So I'm starting to see, hey, that's part of what has got us in trouble. Now, I'm not saying this is going to crash us or anything like that, but I would be a little suspicious right now, me personally, of taking closing cost money that I have to spend and putting it into a 2-1 buy down on the off chance that interest rates never go down. Because if interest rates go down, then you're stuck in that high interest rate in 2 years. Now, with a 2-1 buy down, you have to qualify at that amount. You have to qualify for that loan as if it's a 7.5, and you're saving money through the first and second year. But let's be real, we're Americans. We're really, really bad at not spending money we have. So if you have 2 years into a house, you have 1 year into the house, and you're writing a mortgage check, all right, all your other expenses are going to fluctuate around it. You're going to go out to eat as often as you go out to eat. You're going to maybe run some stuff up on the credit card, so you have to make credit card payments. Maybe you get the extra package on the new car that you just bought. And then your mortgage payment goes up. I want you to think about that. If you're the kind of person who can literally sit there and have the strength of will to maintain a budget, God bless you. God bless you. All right. I'm talking about the other 99% of humanity out there, the people who aren't Vulcans or, Marcus Aurelius fanboy Stoics. Just be careful about that. Keep an eye on it. Is that really going to work right for you? Or do you take all of that money you got from seller's closing costs or seller, paying into your closing costs and instead just buy down the rate? That's a permanent fix, right? You take that 7.5, buy it down to, let's say, a 6.5. That's a 6.5 you're going to have for the life of that loan. Make sense? And then if it does drop down to 5.5, then you can always refinance, right? But since the CPI numbers hit yesterday, and yesterday's numbers said, unexpectedly, I love the way they're always talking about unexpectedly when it comes to the market or the economy. Unexpectedly, well, unemployment has risen. That's good because that's going to get them to drop the rates down, right? The prime rate. But CPI is up again, mostly because of oil. And Saudi Arabia just announced that they're going to keep not pumping oil. Right, so we're not seeing gas prices come down any lower. I mean, I'm seeing fives again. Over the summer, it was fours. Now I just drove by a $5.10 per gallon. So inflation is up, which means the Fed's less likely to drop the rates, which means I don't think we're going to get our fives this year. There, I said it out loud. All right, everybody was saying we're going to see 5% interest rates by the third quarter. It's the third quarter, and they're suddenly not there because we did not get that inflation receding the way we expected it to. Why not? Well, we're still spending money like a drunken sailor. In fact, we're spending money worse than drunken sailors because drunken sailors stop spending money when they run out. And so, my personal opinion, what I would do, asterisk, Ray's not your financial advisor, is if I had closing cost money to spend on something like that, I would not do a 2-1 buy down. I would actually roll it in and try to buy the overall rate down. All right. I would not buy more house than I need. All right. And all those other really good things. But what do I know? I'm just a real estate agent with a podcast. All right. So, and I think that's pretty much done. I have to go back and edit out that stuff that I said earlier. So, we're going to cut this thing short. So while I'm editing, I want you guys watching this. Pets and children around the water, right? Monsoons are hitting. We had a tornado out of Falcon Field, apparently, all right, which means streets might be flooded when you're coming home. Don't be driving into those, all right? And you guys have a really, really great weekend. I'll talk to you guys all later.